And it's just, one more piece of stupidity coming out of the Democrats. And, speaking of, things coming out of Democrats' mouths, I think we also should briefly just pay a little tribute because as we're recording this, this is Jen Psaki's last day as Biden's press secretary.
And what is your thought on that, Dr. Lopkin?
I think she's going to go to MSNBC where nobody's ever going to hear from her again.
But here's the most important thing, I think. She was, I'm not saying, I definitely didn't agree. I thought I didn't agree with most of 90% of what she said. She was an extremely effective press secretary, and it was the only firewall between Biden and Armageddon, and that is now over.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
she could spin better than a top.
Yeah.
So that's over. So she kept the wolves at bay, and we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how the deputy press secretary steps up.
How do you defend policies like Biden's latest brainchild initiative? He now reneged on providing oil leases in Alaska in the middle of an energy shortage.
Yes, the spin on it was that, they canceled the auctions because nobody was interested.
Yeah, okay, yep.
And
sure.
The oil industry has repeatedly said, we're not going to play ball with the Biden administration until he stops trying to kill us.
Yeah, why would you go jump in bed with someone that wants to destroy you? And by the way, I can't blame the oil industry. I mean, you're going to invest all this money. As soon as the crisis is over, guess what's going to happen, boy genius? They're going to screw you. So I wouldn't do it either.
Exactly. I mean, he keeps blaming, the Putin price hike, and it's because of COVID. And except if you look at the price of energy, it started going up the day he took office.
Of course, because half of economics is in the head. And then
it's more than that, because the first thing he did was all these executive orders limiting the oil and gas industry.
Oh, no, that's my whole point. No, yeah. Dr. Lopkin, I agree with you. What I'm saying is that the first thing, before it actually had an effect, is my only point.
Yes.
People said, whoa, and oil. Before it actually met the pump, prices soared because they knew what happened. The futures market knew that this shit is going to hit the fan. So it's kind of crazy. But someone that doesn't have any problem with burning oil, in this case jet fuel, is Bernie Sanders. One of the people I dislike the most. How does that sound? Someone who never worked until they were 40 and now is a multimillionaire. They have someone snapped, and I love whoever he or she was or is, snapped a little picture of little Bernie after a little campaign stop in Pennsylvania, getting out of first class. Do as I say, not as I do. How many times have you said that on this show?
He cares so much for the common man.
He's like Mother Teresa.
He doesn't even want to be in the same plane with us,
Oh, yeah, he would. Yeah, good luck. So, Dr. Lopkin, I hope this has made your migraine a little better, but there's one more subject, and it points to complete incompetency, is the baby formula. You screwed up everything. In other words, there's nothing left to screw up. Like, you burn the house down. But now Biden and his illustrious administration are going to burn the garage as well. I mean, the house is already on fire. Let's just burn the tree for it. And that's the whole thing with the baby formula.
Yeah, the baby formula situation is absolutely amazing. There are places where 50% of all baby formula out of stock. And the reason for this, for those of you who may not be aware, is that there was a voluntary recall by Abbott. Abbott is the company that makes most of the baby formula in the US. There was a salmonella outbreak and they shut it down. They recalled the baby formula. But here's the problem. It took the FDA months to get out there to recertify, and it's going to take more time once they've gotten back up and running to get these things out into the markets because of all the supply chain issues and because of the skyrocketing cost of diesel that's forcing many truckers to be out of business. So you've got all of that going on, and then it is revealed that the administration has been buying pallets and pallets of baby formula to ship down to the southern border to be given away to the illegal immigrants crossing the border.
You just got to shake your head. Talk about America first. Biden is America last, and I really don't believe he has any part in the decision making. This, as much as the Washington Post can give it 4 Pinocchios, is another issue that just intensifies the fire and also points to the thought or lack thereof, the thought process. Who is in charge? Like, what the heck is going on there? And the last thing is, it's so funny. Kamala, our esteemed vice president, you think that'd be a natural issue to put her in? She has been relegated, and you talk about you know that you've reached rock bottom when you've been relegated to the outhouse in a incompetent administration. She of course, you would put a woman in, just politically in charge, at least put the face on it. She's done.
You would think she would be leading the charge to codify Roe v. Wade. She should be leading the charge on this baby formula issue. It would have gone perfectly for her. It would have given her great issues to take charge of, to be able to fight for. Radio silence from the vice president because she doesn't want to do the homework on what's necessary. So she doesn't really understand the issues. And every time she gives an interview, the entire country just collectively shakes their heads.
No, it's really between Biden and her, it's totally replaced Saturday Night Live. I actually YouTube Biden. It's scary, but it's hysterical. And she might be even funnier because it's not senility, it's just stupidity. It's about space. It's just word salads. I have no idea. Seriously, I have no idea how she got to be an attorney and any kind of success. She is, woof.
And the thing is, people are literally saying they don't want to hear from not just the administration, but anybody associated with the administration. Kamala Harris's former press secretary the one who had left, or press secretary, or maybe even her chief of staff. I don't remember off the top of my head.
They're all left. Who cares?
Yeah. She left the administration, went to MSNBC, and had her show debut this past weekend with an interview with Jill Biden. Now, you would think this would have gone gangbusters.
A complete flop.
Less than 400,000 viewers, which, if it had been
CNN,
on
that's
CNN,
like rocket ship.
Right, if it had been CNN, that would have been their top-rated show. But MSNBC is doing a little better than CNN is, so these were ratings in the toilet. And now Psaki's going to MSNBC. We'll see if she can get anybody to watch.
No, that's where a place, I've seen this in business. Like, there's a company that's kind of hot for a while, so people jump ship and go there, and it implodes, and they're either begging to come back to the old company or finding new ways. But, yeah, that's a place where you go to die. Yeah. Well, Dr. Lopkin, I hope this helped your migraines a little bit.
Yeah.
And we continue to be on a roll. We outlasted CNN Plus, didn't we?
We outlasted CNN Plus. In fact, I think at this point we're actually getting more listeners than CNN
Oh,
Plus
there's
had
no doubt about
viewers.
that.
And of
Well,
course,
very good, Dr. Lopkin. And for anyone can access the show in many ways and also give their input, can't they?
yes, they can. If you want to weigh in on any of the issues we're talking about, you can go to xvadio.com/connect. Let us know what you're thinking. And of course, you can catch every episode of Carnivore Radio as well as the rest of the Xvadio podcast network at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcast app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and wherever you find podcasts.
Thank you, Dr. Lopkin, and thank our listeners. We'll be back next week.
We'll see you then.